We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net and I'm Al Graham. And tonight, as always, joining always the very busy Kim Cooper is joining me, and we have a guest who is a patient, also a sponsor here at the network, plus a person who lives right here near me in Marmor, Ontario. So I made sure that all the local Facebook groups knew that a local business was going to be on the broadcast tonight. But as always, before we bring our guest in, it's time for Kim and I to have our usually chit-chat. Good evening, Kim. How are you?
Good evening. I'm better tonight. The weather is clear, so that's really cool.
Yes. Now, you know, these last few shows, we've talked about you being floods, actually a couple floods. We've talked about the heat wave you went. What happened last week? Like, I know during the broadcast, you disappeared.
Yeah, I vanished. We had with amazing Sarah Sunday on last week for the Karma Cup, and we were just getting started on the interview, about 20 minutes in, and bang, I got cut off, and my internet went down. I was scrambling for a phone and outside trying to find a signal on data, and lo and behold, we did have a storm that was coming through. And, I got all the luck in the world here, Al, because lo and behold, don't I come to find out later, we had a tornado.
A tornado?
So that's why
Oh, my God. Oh.
We had a tornado. So I'm broadcasting in the middle of a tornado. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad you made it through safely. We thought it was a lightning storm, but tornado. That's quite the experience.
Yeah, it took a couple of my fences down, but we're all good. Everything's good. Satellite came back on. We finished the show, and I didn't find out till the next day that it was actually a tornado. So there you go.
There you go. There you go. We can add that to the list of the weather conditions we've been able to broadcast through.
Oh my God, what a summer. Yeah.
Yes, what an experience, eh? Wow.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, let's move on to our quick little news article here before we bring our guest in. And this is a report in Muddlehead magazine. They say here that cannabis can help reduce tobacco and nicotine use according to a study.
This is really, really cool. I love the idea of this. I just wish it worked for me. Cannabis can help chronic tobacco smokers cut down on the more harmful substance, according to the research. The study published in the Journal of Substance Abuse Treatment found that 49% of medical cannabis patients who use tobacco or nicotine reduced use after starting treatment for issues including chronic pain, mental health, and conditions of insomnia.
So you would be part of the 51% that didn't get the benefit then?
I'm never in nine.
Well, 49% is good. They said the study also found that the intent to use cannabis as a tool to cut down on tobacco and nicotine increased smokers' ability to do so by around 33%.
I think this is fantastic, and I tend to agree from personal experience. In reflection, I think my tobacco use probably increased as my actual cannabis flower use decreased.
Yeah, because you switched over. You went from whole plant. You went to doing the dabs, just the rosins.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
become a
Like
dabber. I've become a chronic
concentrates.
dabber, and concentrates. I'm all about the concentrates now. And yeah, there is a correlation there. I think that could be very true, and that's an interesting revelation for me.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. They say that about 1 in 4 of the previous tobacco nicotine consumers in the study reported no use in the last 30 days before the study. And according to their co-author of the study, Philip Lucas, he says this would be equivalent to or better than a lot of the current tobacco cessation strategies, whether they are psychological, such as talk therapy, pharmacological, such as a patch, or the use of nicotine gum, or prescription drugs in order to reduce tobacco use. So he says, hey, equivalent or better. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's great odds. I mean, if you're trying to quit the evil weed, which is what I equate tobacco to, I mean, every little bit helps. And the more I think about this, the more it's making sense in my own personal struggles and use of nicotine. They say that one of the most interesting findings in this paper was that the intention to use cannabis as a substitute for tobacco was positively associated with tobacco reduction, according to Lucas, who has used medical cannabis since 1995 to treat his hepatitis C. So I mean, it's directly correlated, and I'm reflecting here, and I can relate to that because I think I smoked a lot less when I consumed cannabis flower, and I can see that. My tobacco use has increased with the lessening of my flower intake.
Right. I know I used to smoke tobacco until I was 18, and then I quit, and I smoked oil for years with some tobacco in it, but I wasn't smoking just a cigarette. And then when I switched to just cannabis, and didn't use the oil anymore with tobacco because I wanted to get rid of the tobacco, I didn't have any problem. I just carried on. Like there was no problem whatsoever. So I agree. There's obviously benefit for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if there's any advancements in using cannabis as a nicotine reduction or a nicotine replacement product of some kind. I mean, why not?
Yeah, exactly. So they say that there's a potential for it to be used as a harm reduction tool. So.
Yeah, for sure. 100% in harm reduction, and now tobacco use too. That's cool.
Exactly. All right, well, getting it away from tobacco would be helping. It's a harm reduction thing for sure, and
that's right.
As well with drugs. So, all righty, so that's good news. Good news.
Yeah,
there
for sure. Interesting stuff. Another milestone for cannabis, and yet another thing that this amazing plant helps.
Yes, exactly.
The list is endless.
People were concerned that the smoking of cannabis would create more smoking, but yet here's a study that's showing that it has actually helped reduce it.
Complete opposite of.
And it's a Canadian study.
What was thought. Yeah, complete opposite of what they thought was going to happen, as usual.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, it's time to bring in our guest. All righty?
Yeah.
All right. He's the guy I mentioned is a patient. He's also a business owner, as well as the network sponsors here. We'd like to welcome Scott Mocon, the owner of Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions, the Pace Radio Show. Good day, Scott. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we really appreciate you coming on the show and talking to us and, learning about your business, the stuff you've been doing over the past little bit, as well as the updates that I know that you've got to tell our listeners about. But first, as always, I know Kim usually like to start, find out from the person where things got started, eh?
Yeah. I usually like to start at the beginning. You never know when we've got new listeners out there, new to the program, that aren't aware of who Scott is or what you do at drbuckscts.com. Of course, that's Cannabis Trimming Solutions. But before we get into your business, give a bit of background on Scott. How did you get started in this? What got you started in creating a cannabis business?
Actually, I had a spinal cord injury in 2010 that left me paralyzed, and I was a truck driver. I never actually touched any cannabis till the age of 30. And so then when I had a spinal cord injury, left me paralyzed in a wheelchair. So then I just went to trying to use that. They were giving me all these different drugs and stuff like that. And so using my rehab and stuff like that, I just kind of turned to cannabis. And I went from probably 18 or 20 different drugs that were just doing crazy shit to me just to doing cannabis. And I started making my own salves and doing my own dosing and stuff like that. Then I just started growing my own thing, and I got from my doctor who recommended it. So I said, hey, I've always wanted to try growing it. So I started growing it. Then trimming sucks. So when you're sitting there for days and days, and you spend all these months getting your medicine the way you want it, I just said, hey, I'm gonna try to create a business that I can be the street, that I can come in, and I can be quick, efficient. It's something that the average person can afford.
Yeah, absolutely. So you started growing your own plants and learning more about cannabinoid therapy and helping you through your own patient trials with your injury. Now, of course, with injuries like that, there were a lot of pharmaceuticals, I would imagine, that were involved in the very beginning for you, right?
Yeah, the biggest, probably the one that had me on was Lyrica. One of the side effects was like suicide. And it was true. That was one of the side effects. So I just looked at my wife and I looked at her and said, hey, I'm going to try weed. And there was a problem with that. And she was all for it. And my daughter's seen me come so far so quick by using cannabis. So then that was kind of my concern, my daughter, right? Like, okay, is she going to think dad's a druggie, or what's the thing that goes with weed? And she watched it in action. She couldn't believe how much it helped me and how I put all those other drugs away and just use cannabis.
Yeah, just use the cannabis. And your transition over. Now, you were not a recreational cannabis consumer. You did this strictly for the medical portion of it, and that's a pretty heavy transition for a lot of patients. Were you skeptical at first?
Oh yeah, I was the old dopes for dopes, and I was probably drug tested once a month driving a truck, right? So I never smoked weed, and then all of a sudden, when I had my spinal cord injury, I said, hey, nothing to lose, right? So then that's when I just started. I've always wanted to try it, right? So then I kind of jumped into it and started making salves and topicals and edibles and stuff like that. And it was just unbelievable how much it helped me.
Amazing. It's amazing. Another, patient recovery story, getting off of pharmaceuticals. So you started growing your own cannabis and learning about growing plants, and you dove head first into that too, I'd like to say. Seeing some of your gardens and some of the gardens that you've been a part of, you dove head first into the growing end.
Yeah, my kids will tell you that Dad's a perfectionist, and like you said, I'm going to bring Al into my garden. I just kind of started this year. And so the garden I took you guys into last year, so I'm a master grower. We did 1,600 plants last year, and I dripped every one of them. We fed them from a pump. You guys were there, stuff like that. This year, I left that organization. I went back to see the guys and stuff like that, and they've grown 3,100 plants. And I looked at them, how proud I was of them, from the green crew. The crew that I had last year, half of them didn't have a driver's license. And they looked at me, and I started asking some questions. I can pretty well tell within 30 seconds that people know what they're talking about. When you're saying, what I'm asking your pH, so your soil or ppms, or what's your soil test, and they're what? That's what I started with, and those guys, and how we finished. I was so proud of those guys. And I'd always say to them, okay, boys, this is what everybody taps out is at the end when it comes time to trim, right?
Yeah.
Because I looked at them and said, you know what's going to happen? I've been here 100 times. Oh, my kid's got hockey. I can't help you trim tonight. Oh, my wife's pissed
Yeah.
at me because I've been home in a week. That's what happened. So that's why when I said to him, I said, I'm going to invent Dr. Buck, CTS. So when we invented Dr. Buck in the cartoon, it was originally a seed bank I was going to start. And my mom and I designed Dr. Buck, right? So I love to hunt. And the medical coat on Dr. Buck is the medical aspect of it. And the nature's medicine you see on it is him with the weed over his shoulder coming out of the wood growing your own medicine, right?
Yeah. I love the logo. I love that guy, that deer guy. He's just fantastic. You and your
Jackalope?
mom designing that. Yeah, I mean, you and your mom designing that together. That makes it all that much more special. You
Yeah.
didn't hire somebody out and some guy drew a cartoon for you. This is personal. It's a family-made logo for a family-run company. Doing all of your escapades on growing huge gardens, like 1,600 plants, huge gardens. Yeah, then you get to the trim part, and you're right. That's when people vanish. I mean, back in the heyday of my growing with large grows, I mean, I would phone people, and people would be using, caller ID. It's Kim. Don't answer it.
I just spent a week
It's
there.
harvest time. Don't answer. I mean, the people vanish on you at harvest time. You get some beautiful, pretty buds that we look at, that we get our hands on with from this marvelous plant. We admire them and we look and we say, oh, how pretty. Most people don't have a clue what it takes to get there.
No.
No.
And that's what people ruin it by not finishing it right, not drying it, not curing. That is so important as growing, right?
Yeah, and like I know. Last year there was a few people that I spoke to that I said to them about this time. I said, "So what's your plan to do? Like when you trim this? Like, have you got a spot to trim it? Have you got a spot for it to dry? So on and so forth."
Yeah.
And they just go, well, I haven't thought of that yet. Well, you got a plan, right?
Yeah, you gotta kind of put that all into the mix when you're setting up your grow.
Yeah, because
Absolutely, but there's nothing worse than trimming. Unless it's harvest, like the complete harvest. Chopping those puppies down is no easy feat either. When you get some big ass outdoor plants, that's for sure. And a lot of people are doing some marvelous things with some plants that are outdoor in this country since legalization. So you came up with Dr. Buck CTS, and you take everybody's headache away now.
So this year we have actually changed the logo. So I said to everybody, and I'm always, that's one thing I love to learn, and I always want to getting better and better and better. So I said to all my girls, I hire women because they're more efficient and better looking. And so I said with the girls, it's okay. I want to design a T-shirt, and I actually have my daughter's 16-year-old friend of hers from high school, which I always say, hey, I want you to help me design this logo. So we went back and forth, and so he did an excellent job. So I said, okay. And then I want to do T-shirts. And so when you look at this, okay, this guy trims weed and where we can find it. So we've changed our logo. So now it is, you grow it, we mow it, Dr. Buck CTS. And on the right, so
cool.
Yeah, so you grow it, we mow it,
cool.
Dr. Buck CTS, and on my logo it's got Dr. Buck, and you'll see a pot leaf and behind us when you look at it, okay, that you're growing weed.
Yeah.
So instead of saying trimming sucks and I'm advertising for Twister, I'm gonna have, like I said, we're designing our own T-shirt line, stuff like that. So it's you grow.
That's the new one with the plant in the background. It's the plants that are in the background now, right? And that's the new one that I'm looking at on your website. Yeah, it's a much more clear picture of exactly what you're talking about. That's for sure.
So things like that. We just got some new equipment. Like we're running. I just got a T2 a couple of weeks ago, so we're going to be running a T2 and 3. And I ended up buying another T4 last year, so I'm running 3 T4s and a T2. So your bud is going to be going through 4 trimmers.
4 trimmers in a row.
Wow.
So,
Well, I want to talk to you a little more about what all of those terms mean, but I want to get back to this logo for just 1 second. With the change that you made on that, were you getting calls from people for, like tree detailing and stuff or something?
No. I was just like, I found it too busy. I wanted something easy to look at, like something that when you put it on a T-shirt, it's gonna pop, right? So right. So that's what I wanted, because when you look at trimming socks and you look at someone's street, you know that's Twister.
Yeah, but
this logo will definitely pop on a black T-shirt. This will pop.
We take the paint out of trimming. That's not Twister, is it? Or is it?
No, that was me. But I just found I asked people what they thought about it. Some people thought it was a little, Dr. Buck, we take the paint out of trimming a little too much. Did you see I sent you the new logo. I've
got it. Yeah. It's up on the website.
Nature's medicine. Yeah, nature's medicine. I like that.
Yeah,
we mow it. Did you put that up?
Yeah, that's up on our website. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
you like it, Kim?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
You see how it just kind of pops and it's simple. When you look at that, you say this guy trims weed. Where can we get a hold of him?
Yeah, it definitely says this guy trims weed.
That's what I'm looking for. So I had a young Monica's friend. He's 16 years old. He helped me do that, and I went back and forth. And that's what I said to him. I said, I want you to look at that and say, hey, yeah, this guy trims weed, and we get a hold of him where?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It says that. There's no question about that. It definitely speaks weed loud and clear. I like it though. I always liked your logo. I like the original logo as well. But yeah, this one definitely is more defined in its direction and maybe would catch people's eye a little bit more in the cannabis community for sure.
Yeah, and as you say, you grow it, we mow it. I don't know, trimming. Trimming, mowing, cutting. It's it's all the same thing. It's cutting her up and getting it ready for harvest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You grow it, mow it. I like that for sure. Sure. So now this is a family-run business too. Sorry, go ahead, Al.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say that in his words, grow, the word grow, he's got, instead of an O, he's got a cannabis leaf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. I like that. That's very cool for sure. So all family run. On your website, there's a picture of you with your truck and your stealth trailer.
Yes. Me and Al talking about that today. I'm outgrowing the stealth.
You're outgrowing the stealth. He's expanded.
Yeah, that'll be all part of the update of all the changes. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Then I just watched
second half because I know it's long, right? And I don't want to cut you off for it.
Exactly. But now, as far as when you thought about doing this, was this something that you saw that would be, I guess I would agree, probably, you saw it as something that could be a demand, because there's not a lot of people that I'm aware of that have a service like this that goes around to people's gardens and trims them.
No, that's right, and it's something that everybody hates doing.
Yeah.
See,
last year our biggest thing was when I touched base with clients, it's okay, like we're fast. Like I hire women because they're efficient and they don't mess around. They know it. Like when we pull on site, and I tell clients, I say when we pull on site, you gotta have your plants ready. say either chop, lay in there, or whatever, right? Well, and I said, when we're running, we're bucking 300 pounds an hour, and we're blowing through 100 to 200 pounds an hour.
Yeah.
Right? That's when we're running generators. When we come on scene, so when we show up, well, we're getting people out of bed, and then people would have a one plan. Then the guy gets microscope, and I like that. I said, we can't have this happen, buddy. Like, I'm paying 3 girls wages. I like to make something, and that was probably the biggest complaint, right? Is for me showing up with clients who aren't ready. So last year we did a price with bucking and without bucking. So if you bucked all the weed and we ran through the trimmers, well, a lot of people don't do it right. So if you don't buck properly, then it leaves a little stem and goes to this trimmer, and you trim it again. It looks like crap. So this year, what we've done, we have a price. It's $30 a pound. So when we pull up, you just have your plants. We do everything. You chop it like a Christmas tree. You drop it down.
Okay, now what do you explain what you mean by the word bucking? You buck it. I don't know if listeners would know what that means.
Bucking means when you take the bud off the branch. Right?
So that process is where you take a branch and you stick that into something, and it strips the buds right off the branch.
Yeah, so if you go on, you can see me go on. If you want Dr. Buck CTS, if you go on Instagram, you're going to see me with bucking machine and me going up against T4, the one that I made, Jack and Jill. So what it does is it just grabs a branch, pulls it through a small hole the size of there's 2 rollers. The roller grabs a branch and it pulls it through the right size hole of the branch.
Yeah. As
it's going through, it just pops all the bud off and puts the branch out the back. It drops the bud down. And then we put the bud into the trimmers.
It's nice. It strips it. Nice. And then
strips it, yeah.
Sweet.
And it's
Sweet.
Yeah. So with Jack and Jill, I made Jill on wheels so we can take her right to the plant. So if we come right to your garden's accessible. It's not remote. I made her so we wheel her off the thing. The girls go right there. So when they're chopping off the branch, they're putting through Jill, hitting her. And she's just dropping buds into totes, and the girls are bringing the totes, and we just put them through the trimmers. If you go on to
assembly line.
Yeah. So we just got conveyors this year that we're working on. So I got a T2. Then last year, when I first started, I had 2
Getting into that new stuff. Getting into that new stuff after break.
After break for that. But we're at the bottom of the hour now. The bucking process, I mean, that's like we said at the beginning, at the start of the show, just getting the plants down, that's a chore in itself. I mean, I'm out there with hatchets and machetes and everything else, just chopping these bad boys down. And some of them, they've got stalks on them the size of small trees. So I mean that's a job in itself. And removing the branches off of the actual larger stalk, that's a huge job, man. Yeah. So bucking, I mean, you're taking the pain out from the time we pull them down. All you got to do is pull them down. Great.
The hand just sawzall, the whole sawzall. You just go there and you just hit her right at the base like a Christmas tree. And you just drop them in front of the girls. That's it.
Sawzall them down.
Down they go. Sawzall. Yeah. I seen a patient one time. He used a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna go around and cut those branches off with a pair of scissors. No. You need some gardening tools, right?
Yeah.
Construction.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's head off to break. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good. We'll come back with all the new stuff with Dr.
That's right, all the updated new stuff. We'll learn all that after the break. And that's what we're going to discuss then. All right, so we'll see you shortly. This is the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Once again, People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada.ca. Check them out.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done with a twice-weekly broadcast of the Reefer Reporters and by providing cannabis advocates a place to be heard through Cannabis and Coffee to Marijuana and the award-winning Pace Radio Show. Catch it all here at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains, and when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed, and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network? It's a network of people advocating cannabis education.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at BMA Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 613-967-9888.
The only way to go.
We are People Advocating Cannabis Education here at paceradio.net. Hello and welcome back. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. You can also catch us at a podcast afterwards at paceradioshow.com. Today we are joined by our guest Scott Mocon of Dr. Buck's Cannabis Trimming Solutions, who helps our guests, the people here, helps their voices get heard, their stories get heard, and their experiences get heard worldwide through his sponsorship here on the network. And we really appreciate his sponsorship, and I'd like to thank him for that. And also, Kim Cooper is here as well.
Always. always here.
That's right. Yes, yeah. We seem to spend a lot of time on the radio, don't we?
We do. We do. It's all good. I love it.
Alrighty, Scott. This is the opportunity. Inviting at the Chomps to get started on what is new at Dr. Buck's.
Yeah.
Man, I can't go. We've changed the logo. We've upgraded our equipment. So we were running 2 T4s last year, and I went down there and I took a pellet gun to a war. Really got my butt kicked. So I ended up buying our 3rd T4 halfway through the season. So we were running 3 T4s end to end, right? So so then all of a sudden I just bought a T2, which is one size bigger, commercial one. So your buds now we got a T2 and 3 T4s. So I'm gonna have the T2.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you. Hang on. I'm going to interrupt you. I don't know what T2 and T4 mean, so can you break that down for me and anybody else out there that's in the same boat?
Yeah, so T2 is a commercial trimmer that it could probably trim 150 pounds an hour itself. So the T4 is just a smaller version. Right. So these are so next year when I'm going to be running, I want to run eventually 3 T2s together. So I could probably do, just with those 3 T2s, I could probably do between 200 and 300 pounds an hour. Right.
Wow. 300 pounds of
Nice.
cannabis being trimmed in an hour.
Yeah.
Do you know how long
that's like when you're trimming it when it's wet. So there's that, that's part of the weight, but that's still a lot of, even converted to dry cannabis is still a lot of cannabis.
That's a lot of cannabis.
Yeah. So that was I shot a video last year. I set a goal for myself that I was going to do 100 pounds myself. Me bucking, trimming, coming out of the trimmers and did that, which I did. And it's funny because the one video you'll see me, I shot on Instagram there. I was like 2 a.m. and we filled the whole greenhouse full of weed, right? And I said to the guys, I want you to just chop it down and hang it all up. So I shot a video before, and then I shot it after, and I did the whole thing myself that night. Right?
100 pounds an hour with no help, just
you.
That was just me and Jack. That's my bucker I made. I made a
bucker. Exactly.
Buckers, Jack and Jill.
Yeah, you're the only. Yeah, you're the only human there.
Jack. You named your bucker Jack. You named your equipment
Jack and Jill.
Jack and
Jill.
I love it.
I love it. They're Jack and Jill, and they buck together.
Oh yeah, the teamwork. You gotta watch how you say that.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah.
Jack and Jill Bucket for Dr. Buck. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Just bucket.
Fantastic. So 100 pounds an hour all by yourself out of these equipments, and you're upgraded. So that you've had T4, and now you're at the T2, which is even faster.
Oh, yeah, that's the commercial one that everybody's using, right? So when I come to a client, your trim is going to go through the T2, which is a big one. Then it's going to piggyback into another T4. Then it goes into another T4. Then it goes into another T4. Then it'll come out. So your bud will be trimmed 4 times.
So it's just slowly going downhill as it tumbles in the tumbles there, and it's trimming off a little bit as it goes along, without beating the hell out of your buds.
Oh yeah. It's called the soft roll tumble technology. So it actually rolls it. When you watch it, you'll see me on my videos. I shot video. It doesn't beat it with beaters. It rolls it. It's called a soft roll. That's why it doesn't beat your buds up. So when your buds dry, they're not brown. They're green.
No. Well, you have trimmed my buds before, and I can attest that the buds didn't come out black and bruised looking. Like what I ended up with when I used one that was a paddle version that you mentioned. I had used an electric paddle version one year, and that's what happened. The buds ended up going dark.
Well, it's the same as a piece of fruit, right? If you bang it around, it gets bruised.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, completely agree. So yeah, it's good. Soft tumble, doesn't affect the bud any. And it comes out of the machine, goes into a container, and it's weighed right on the spot, right?
Yeah, we weigh it right on the spot, right? So then the client's only paying for trimmed wet bud that comes out. So you're not guessing. So that's when I designed this company. I'm thinking, I'm not going to have, if someone's coming to trim my weed, I'm thinking, I don't want to guess. The scales don't lie. Right?
Yeah.
So that way there,
exactly.
So you're not fair for everybody.
So the person's not being charged for the weight of the trim, correct?
That's correct. So you're only paying for finished bud.
Right. Now the trim, the product itself, you give that back to the customer, correct?
Yeah, all the trims set back to the customer. We empty all the bags. All the customers will dry it, make extracts or oil or whatever you want to do with it, right? So it's a win-win. So we're just providing a service. We don't take any bud. We don't take any your trim, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I really like the fact that when you roll in, you're ready to go. As you said, you supply your own power. Your neighbors, if you have nosy neighbors that you don't necessarily want them know what's going on, they won't with your truck.
No, they won't. It's very discreet. There's no lettering on the thing. We run Honda generators in the back of the truck. All the inverter, everything's inside the trailer, so we just black up at the client. Drop the tailgate, we hit the generator, we plug it into the trailer, we're up and rolling in like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we did that there at Kelly's Green Lounge, and we fired it right up in downtown Orono.
Yeah.
Downtown Orono, look how quick we trim, and everybody went home with a sample.
Yeah, exactly. So you can go anywhere as long as you can get in there. You can trim her up. So, but okay, so this is now you mentioned earlier something about you've got this new trimmer going, setting up now. Because you're local, we're local. Like Christ, you're like 15, 20 minutes down the road from me. So I've been to your place. Now you've got some other things that you're working on that you're adding to this whole process as well, correct?
Correct. Actually, we just got it in today. I just had them shipped from Calgary. 2 ultrasonic cleaners. So with COVID and stuff like that, keeping machines clean and stuff like that. But I got an ultrasonic cleaner so I can submerge my whole T4s in this cleaner.
Yeah.
And when it'll bring it right back to new and I clean it. Then I have another tank with that I take out of that, and it's a hot water dip to distill it, any bacteria on it. So our equipment is going to be so distilled, and with the ultrasonic cleaner, that's the new technology for cleaning.
Yeah, because you I'm sure you run into situations during trimming where somebody's got a moldy, got some powdery mildew in there. So it's always good to know that you look after cleaning your equipment that way.
Yeah, you're not passing that on to the next client.
No, because Twister just came out with they're called the Ultra Clean, and it's the same thing. It's an ultrasonic cleaner that you put in. Well, theirs is, see, mine's a 90 gallon. Theirs is on the size of maybe 3 feet by 2 feet, ultrasonic cleaner. So this one here, I put all my equipment for my T2s in it, stuff like that. We could take all our blowers apart. We can drop all that, and nobody does that. When I go to clients that are running equipment, I say, like, have you taken your blower apart? They'll say, what? And I'll say, well, take it apart and be like full of mold. It'd be like, so it looks exactly like underneath your lawnmower, right? That grass is built up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because I said them all.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So then when I peel off their fan covers and stuff like that, they go, oh my God. So I said, now all your trim is just blowing through all that mold and all those spores. That 500 pounds of trim you got, it's full of mold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they look at me thinking, I never knew that. All right.
Yeah.
In fact, that's what's going to happen for sure. It's going to pass it along.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mold spores are airborne.
So, yeah.
For sure they're going to be blown through that fan.
Maintenance and you sent me a picture of this thing. Like I mean, it looks like a crate. It's big. It looks big in the picture, and it's good to see that. Now, there was some other stuff that you were talking about too that you were looking at adding when I was at your place recently, and it had to do with, what was it? Some separation. You had some venting stuff going on there or something. Some blowers.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's what the next week or so with the trailer. We're gonna be doing I'm gonna build a stand. I'm gonna have my T4s on it. Then I'm gonna build an induction motor to suck all the stuff, dirt like that. And then what I'm gonna do next year is I'm gonna build my whole trailer, and I want to make it ice cold. So when you bring your cannabis in, it's ice cold going into the machines. We're not gonna lose any trichome. You're gonna get a better trim. Right.
How are you fitting all this in that trailer? Are you outgrowing your trailer?
That's all part of the new. That's all part of the update.
yeah. So I got a toy hauler, and I might be living in my truck again, and the toy hauler might get an expansion. But what eventually, which me and Al talked about it, like what I want to do, probably 2 to 3 years. My plan is I'm gonna have like a NASCAR trailer, right?
Okay.
And a tractor trailer. So what I'll do with this NASCAR trailer, I'll convert it. So what it's gonna be is my goal is to have 2 Mobius trimmers and then a conveyor system, right? And then when it goes through the conveyor system, and then there'll be so what it does is Mobius has it now, but I don't know, $250,000. It comes into a conveyor, you buck it, goes into the conveyor, goes into 2 Mobius trimmers, then it goes into another conveyor, then it goes up into a sorter. So it sorts your bud, right? So when it comes out, there's 8 different size buds it'll sort. All right. So when I go to my client and I trim your weed, I'm sorting your weed for you too.
Wow! Like what the the days of sitting there with a pair of scissors and a chair can still happen, but this has gotten so automated, and you can come in and out of a client's place so much quicker than somebody with a pair of scissors, man. Like it's quite this is quite the operation.
This used to take us weeks and months on end, with nagging and annoying every person that we knew. People running away and avoiding your phone calls. I go months I wouldn't see anybody, right? It's like, no, you can't come over there. She's going to stick scissors in your hand.
It's going to put you to work.
People leaving with cramped fingers, right? I can't move my hands, Kim, and I have to drive. I have to leave.
Yeah. No,
man.
But now you said that this stuff that you talk about, the conveyor belts and all that, there's that process is available now. You just gotta build up to get to that point, right? So it's not something.
I got some. Yeah, I have conveyors myself that I bought, and I bought some on Kijiji, stuff like that I'm going to convert and stuff like that in my trailer, stuff like that. But the automation system is there now. So with the ultrasonic cleaner, the biggest thing is I'm going to save labor costs, because when we go to clients, we're washing our equipment with cold water. We're trying to find water. It's freezing in the morning, right?
Right.
So this one, the biggest thing is going to be our downtime will be like 15 minutes instead of 2 hours. I can submerge my OT4 in this. I can submerge my OT4 in this, submerge it in my electronic cleaner, and then in 3 minutes, it'll be as clean as it comes from the factory.
So if you're at a customer's place and, they have 1,500 plants, let's just say, right? You're gonna have to clean the machine during that, and instead of spending, as you said, hours tearing something down, you can just deal with it with this machine.
Yeah, I'll get to bring them right in my trailer, my other trailer. I'll bring them right on scene. Then I can run them with the generators, right? The ultrasonic cleaner. Then I have there's a rinse bath too, right? So when you take it out of the cleaner, then I'll run in the rinse bath, and you take it out of the rinse bath, and it's all sterile and ready to go.
Ready to go.
So with this ultrasonic cleaner that I bought,
yeah,
I can put three of my T4s in it. It's 90 gallons.
3 of them.
So
wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So so when you that's the biggest thing in being clean with COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I've seen your stuff there, and you get 3 in there cleaning at the same time. That saves you a hell of a lot of time.
Yeah. Like the one that's called the Ultra Clean from Twister.
Yeah.
You'll see it on their whatever. It's $36,500 American to buy that machine.
What? $36,000.
500 American.
Wow.
Whoa.
And that's all. It's like 92 liter. Mine's a 90 gallon, and that's not the rinse. That's just the ultrasonic cleaner.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah. Just for the cleaner.
That's right, and I have both.
Wow.
That's big bucks.
That's big money, man. That's big money. You are so dedicated and so invested in, doing things right. I mean, you talked about this at the start of the show. How your kids say, you're compulsive about that kind of stuff. But it shows through in the care, in the equipment that you stock and the way you maintain it.
Oh yeah, the girls hated me last year because when I come on scene, like the one girl says, if Doc complains, I quit because I come over and I find something, you missed a spot. All right, you missed a spot. Right? So they be looking at me and they're rubbing their THC on that. They're giving me the dirty look. They're cold. They're freezing. We've been working all night. Right? Yeah. That's it. That's the way you got to do it. So. And the biggest thing is being clean, being sterile in that way, because nobody does what I do. That's what I do because I'm a perfectionist. And I'm anal about my stuff, and I want to be clean. Like I want it new clean. That's what I tell my girls, new clean. So, right? Because I've had people come and look at my equipment and go like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, exactly. Well, I
just buy this.
But you know how we mentioned, like I said, 1,500 plants. You talked about 100 pounds an hour, 200 pounds an hour, which sounds like they're large numbers. But you do this not just for people with large numbers. You do this with people that are growing their 4 plants. You don't do this. You do this for everybody: recreational growers as well as medicinal growers, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why we went we've done lots last year that were fairly local. We had 4 or 5 plants. I did a couple of people with wheelchairs, stuff like that, and I help people out. So, oh yeah, like you don't have to have hundreds of plants. It's just like people looking at me, and I had a client last year. It was funny. We came in and I brought one of my girls with me. It was a small thing, girl. So we were done. And he looks at me and goes, "Scott," and he's paying me. He goes, "You know what I'd be doing right now? Because I'd be ordering pizza for everybody." And he says, "It is cheaper for me to get you to come in because I pull in everybody. I got to feed all their asses. I got to feed them beer." He says, "Then you got to give them something for helping." So he says, "You know what's a great thing?" He says, "It's just me and my wife here. He paid me." He says, "I'll see you next year."
That's it. It's cheaper in the long run to call you and way less headaches. And you probably get a better trim.
Oh, for sure. That's what they said. When everybody gets drunk and what happens, right? And that's it. I'll say, and pizza and booze. It's not cheap. When you have 5 or
you're doing it for 12 hours, you start, your trimming isn't quite as good as it was when you started.
That's it was.
For sure.
When your first bud you trim is perfection. And the last bud you trim is, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. And for anybody who's wondering what the bud looks like like in the posting for this show, there's pictures. There's a close-up picture of one of the buds, and yeah, it's trimmed up really nice. You wouldn't know it was done by a machine. And you've talked before about how using your services can increase your yield, because a lot of people will just get rid of some of the smaller buds, whereas your machine will actually trim those buds.
Yes, and you can so see that in donations. I get donations from people that trim their own weed, and they'll give me their shake or their leaf and that after they're done. And it's riddled with what I call baby bud, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy with it because it increases the strength of the meds that I donate to patients. So I'm quite happy with it. But if somebody is growing only their 4 plants and that has to last them a year, that's a lot of baby bud that they lost.
Oh, for sure. We get you 20% more. When people say, what? That's what I tell them. I can trim the size of a pen head.
Yeah.
All right? And people go, what? Well, go on and watch my videos. Just see me pop into my hand, or people. I said, you would never trim that. You would say, hey, screw that, and throw it in the shake bin or whatever, right? So that 20%, that's pretty well my pay. All right? Some people go, what? I said, yeah. And then because you're going to throw in a waste set or whatever, man, it's the size of a pen head.
Yeah, and if the person still wants to donate their trim, they can still go ahead and do that, because you're going to give the trim back to them, and they still donate that for a good cause.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of med makers out there looking for donations.
Yes, and it comes trimmed. The trim comes cut up versus coming chunky. Let's just say, right? With
because I gotta grind all that when I get the big chunky ones. That I gotta spend hours in front of my blender.
Yeah. See, Dr. Buck, he'd have that problem solved for you. There's a cannabis trimming solution right there.
Help your local med maker with your donation already chopped up for them. It makes life a lot easier for us that are doing such things for patients in need, for sure. And there's a lot of people doing that. So it's great that you give the trim back to somebody. And if they're not using it themselves, there are avenues for other people to turn that into some great meds.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's people like when I hand people a trim back, or when they've had other people, like I've had a couple of people have their stuff trimmed by other people, they go, "You're giving me my shake back?" I said, "Yeah." And I'm giving garbage bags when they said, "Well, the other guy never gave any of us back." I said, "No." And then that's it. And then what I do is I separate it from all the different trimmers, say 1, 2, and 3, because the third stuff coming out of the last one, that stuff just tight right to the bud. That's nice and sweet. So I separate all that for the client too, right?
So you,
So then they say, "Oh my God!" I said, "This is the premium stuff, and this is the stuff that you didn't." When clients give it to me, and it's got big sucker leaves and all that, well, I go through the first trim and takes all that off, right?
Right.
Right.
Then the next one takes the next level. So the finer it gets, obviously that's. As I say, sugar leaf down there by the bud is in that last goodie bag. Let's just call it.
Yeah, that's the sweet stuff.
Yes.
And the feedback on people that are making oil and stuff out of it, they said they never made oil soup in their lives from that last leaf bag, right? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, because the quality of the trim is that much better.
You wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that by hand. I mean, can you imagine trying to separate your trim if you were trimming by hand, Al? I can't even get the question out without laughing because it would be just so ridiculous. I mean, what would you do? You would have to sit there like 3 bowls in your lap and, "Oh, I'm cutting here. Move your hands over the right bowl."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You'd have to do it all manually, right? You'd have a chair on. You'd have a chair on wheels as you rolled across the floor.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge benefit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you're a grower and you're turning all of your plant materials into something or other, having it separated after trimming like that, that's a huge benefit. I mean, the premium oil you could get with that would be
Yes.
phenomenal.
Oh yeah, and I've had people use it through butane and the cylinders, and it just when they showed me the finished product, I can't get over it. So you would never get that, so that's an extra thing you can get out of it that you're going to get for free. It's part of the price, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. More benefits, more the benefits just keep on coming.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you two.
Yeah.
Break time. Time for a commercial.
Already? Wow, that was fast. Okay.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. All right. When we return, Kim and I will continue our discussion with Scott Mocon. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
Pace Radio is the people advocating cannabis education radio network.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hey, welcome back and thanks for tuning into the program. We are live here and being broadcasted at paceradio.net, or as I mentioned earlier, you can always catch us afterwards at the podcast at paceradioshow.com. Today on the program, we're joined by our special guest and network sponsor, Scott Mocon of Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions, as well as my joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper. Well, you two, we've been talking about the past. We've talked about the combination of the new stuff and the future. Where do we want to go now? What do you think, Kim?
Oh well, I wanna unmute my mic so I can talk to you. That's what I want to do first, I think.
All right, sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
That would be a really good place to start.
Okay. All right, now that we've accomplished that.
We've accomplished that. We're getting into harvest season now. It's just the start of harvest season. There's people out there that have some early harvesters that harvest off usually beginning of September, first few weeks. Most of it happens in October is the golden time. Are you expecting huge yields this year?
It's unbelievable. It's going to be like record yields. I've had a few clients phone me and want me to look at their gardens and stuff like that, and that's what they're looking at. And that's the first thing I say to them, like, where are you drying your product? Are you doing a dry trim? Are you doing a wet trim? Stuff like that. And where are you putting it? Like, you got twice as much product as last year. And they come look at me and they say, yeah, I never thought about that, Doc. So, yeah, and like the rains and stuff like that. But I think it's going to be a record year.
It's really wet. It was really wet this year, and the cannabis really loved it because we had so much heat in between the heavy rains. It was like ideal growing conditions this year.
Oh yeah.
And if you were near the gypsy moths, you got all kinds of insect frass to feed them too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, as far as trimming, as far as somebody, now obviously, we have listeners from around the world, and you can't take your truck and your trailer around the world. But as far as locally here to Marmora, for you to go someplace, like what area do you cover or region would you cover?
Usually it's like 500 kilometers, right? Because then we got to either bring a trailer or stay in or a remote area, how big the crop is, stuff like that. So charged by the pound, and then if it's under a certain amount of things, usually it's $1 a mile, or if it's a big grower, I'll eat that expense. So like I'm coming out there for a couple thousand plants or 1,000 plants or 500 plants. I'm not going to charge you travel long as it's within something reasonable, right?
Right. Yeah. That's part of the negotiation package, I guess you could say, or the benefits of the more you're trimming, the better the deal. Yeah, exactly. The better deal you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yep. Every situation's different.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean the yields this year, as you said, we're expecting record numbers. You spoke a little bit about your own garden, 1,600 plants, I think, is what you mentioned. Any ideas or current guesstimates what your haul per plant's going to be?
I would think for sure it's going to be half to 3/4 of a pound, right? Yeah. For sure, right?
Yeah.
Some like
nice
outdoors. There were some big mother plants. You got to get at least a pound and a quarter.
Yeah. They vary, right?
There's always the anomalies, right? There's always the big girl anomaly. There, and it's like, but this big bitch over here.
Well, I've seen some gorilla grows where the plant produced an ounce. So yeah, or even less.
That's right. I've had plants like that. I have had plants like that. It's like, what you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's always a bit of a mix. But you can usually tell by the overall average what kind of a growing season it's been. And it seems that Ontario fared well from the people that I've been speaking to. The guesstimates that are coming out on what they think they're going to average per plant are pretty nice.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that the photos that people are sending me, or I'll say to them, okay, like, can you zoom me? Well, I can pretty well look at your crop and kind of give you an idea, right?
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you don't have to try.
Yeah.
You don't have to drive that. Like, you're willing to go that distance, but you could actually talk to the customer via some video app in order to see everything in order to give them an idea on what it's going to cost. Yeah, for sure. And what you're going to
the great
require.
part too is, and the great part too is with the clients and stuff like that. Like, I'm a master grower, so I'm showing people what I can do. I brought you guys into my grow, so that was a lot of my videos. My videos, I call people hand talkers. You know, the ones that talk with their hands, all bullshit.
Yeah,
so that's not me. That's why I take people in live. Hey, I'm going to show you. This is the real deal, right?
Exactly. So what should people do? As we talked about, there's planning and there's a process that you want to do people to do before trimming. What are the things that you recommend for your situation in order to run through your equipment with that?
So I tell people too, if you get close and say we book a time and this is when you're gonna do. You want to start taking all the big sucker leaves off, right? Mm-hmm. So you want to start pre taking all that stuff off, because you got to remember, when I was going to the trimmer, do you want premium shake or do you want the big sucker leaves with all the yellow stuff off and the brown stuff, right?
Yes, yeah.
We can't do that. So,
some people.
So the more stuff you can take off, right? And that stuff there, I when I do all my plants, and I lollipop my plants, or when I bend them, when I stroke their hog and all that, I use all that for compost, right? So you put all that back into soil. I'm an organic grower. Mm-hmm. Like, if I bring you out, so I'm going to give you some feed next year. So I've done a couple different ones this year, and I'll show you what the different feeds that I've used. So the one I've been working on is called Dr. Buck's Weed and Feed.
Yeah.
An organic blend that I use with spikes and topicals and stuff like that. So
nice.
You come out and you see my grow, and you will look at it and how lush and green my plants are.
I can hardly wait.
That's what I tell people. You feed the soil, and the soil feeds the plant.
Correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
everything in there is coming out of that soil. I mean, soil is the ultimate. That is so important. That's your building blocks.
Like right now, I'm going to take some video, but tomorrow I'm brewing 2,000 liters of tea, organic tea. 2,000.
2,000 liters.
2,000 liters. I'm making mine on the stove. I don't suppose you're making that on the stove, are you?
So I'm going to shoot some video, Alan. I'll send you to you tomorrow.
Right? Exactly. I'll add them to the post. I make teas myself, but the maximum of my tea, I use 5-gallon pail. I'm not using, you must be creating these in totes.
Oh yeah. So with that, I got the river water, right? I built the system for sucking out of the river.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm doing is I filter through a 2-inch filter into my totes, and then when I go into my drip line, I filter out. So I'm double filtering my river water, right?
Correct.
So this quick snap filter that I made, right? So I can go with my 2-inch pump to it. So then I built the manifold system too. So I went down to the river tonight, Troll River, back to the boat launch, fired it up. I filled 2,000 liters in about 12 minutes.
Very nice. Very nice.
Wow.
Yeah. So then,
I'm gonna kidnap you and I'm gonna kidnap you and bring you to my farm and hold you captive and make you work for only for 30 days. I figure I should have everything I should need in 30 days with your determination.
As long as it doesn't rain or a tornado doesn't come along, because you can still work on the heat.
As long as it doesn't rain. Oh my God. You just keep creating all this stuff to create these beautiful plants. And I just keep coming back to the fact that, a handful of years ago, you were like, oh, potheads are dope heads. And now look at you.
And probably, probably the biggest thing that motivated me is people that down me. People that said to me, and I want this for everybody, for people that want to be an entrepreneur, stuff like that. When I had this idea, everybody laughed at me. And probably the biggest people that laughed at me was my family and my friends, which hurt, but drove me more. I said, okay, screw you. I'm going to prove you guys wrong. Everybody laughed at me. Like, you want a what?
Yeah.
Doctor
really?
Who?
Are you serious?
Really?
And the only person who supported me the most was my mom.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah, all my family members, my friends, they all laughed at me, and that drove me, right? So then I said, oh, really? I said, yeah. So that even drove me more, especially with someone that is disabled or something was going through something. When people do that, that drives you even more.
Yeah.
Right? They said they're never walking in.
Yeah. Funny how that works,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah, eh?
Yeah, I had zero support.
I'm the same. Somebody's just got to tell me I can't do something, and then that's it. Watch me go.
and it becomes a challenge, and you prove them wrong, and I know myself. I felt that way when it came to the cannabis end of things, because people say, "Oh, it's not medicinal. It's not medicinal. You're just getting high." Well, no, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And then they go on and say, "Oh, you're gonna become lazy, or you become a big drug addict," and it was just all there was some negative stuff there. And now the challenge is to say, "I'm gonna prove you wrong, and this is what's gonna happen."
Yeah, we
and
saw the same thing with legalization.
Yeah.
Legalization, when it was coming on the scene, everybody was talking about, oh, we're going to have, people are going to be driving on the sidewalks, mowing people down, and there's going to be anarchy, and all our children are going to become potheads and stoners, and nobody's going to work, and all of this kind of stuff, And here we are now 2 years, 3 years in, and production has gone up in the workforces, and seniors are on less drugs, and no increase in consumption in children at all. If anything, it's gone down.
It has gone down.
So I mean, none of the fears came true. None of them.
Yeah. The streets didn't become overcrowded with accidents from cannabis consumers.
That's right. That's right. And there isn't cannabis smoke everywhere. That's right. Sometimes we've got to just push the agenda that we believe in, because we know it's the right thing to do, and people will see in the end, even if they don't now. And that was true with legalization, and it was absolutely true with you creating this company.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So all the ones that laughed at you, are they still laughing?
It's funny because it's mostly family and friends, and they would laugh, or they'd ask my mom, like, "Oh, why has he got this? Or is he driving a new truck, and this or that?" Right? So then all of a sudden you see they all of a sudden these people are all of a sudden they're following me on Instagram, they're following me all this. I don't want to know about me, right? Like, oh yeah. So of course what I did was I went over and I got my mom a nice Dr. Buck hoodie, and I pimped my mom all out. I put a mask on her, and I said, "Okay, Mom, wave at me." She's in bed, right? My mom's had a stroke, so she's laying in bed waving with her Dr. Buck mask on at me. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Oh yeah.
That
So I got her
so
real nice. I got her a zip up hoodie, and all of a sudden, a couple other family members said, "Hey, where'd you get the hoodie? Why didn't we get one for us?" She like that. Just started laughing. She says, "No, it's just for me," she says. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Your mom supported, so she gets
Correct.
the hoodie.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Mom's gonna wear it, you know, and she's supporting you. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good. There was something
Yeah,
I was about to ask you. Now I've lost it.
Oh, you've lost.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to do a dab.
Yeah, I need to do
You need to
that.
do it.
So our
That's
pricing for this year, our
Sure.
pricing is 30. Our pricing is easy. It's $30 a pound. We do everything.
You just
So you just
30
chop
bucks
it down. Yeah. So you just chop it down like a Christmas tree, and you set it down. We will bucket, trim it, and look them out, and you just paid for the finished bud, and you
So
get your shake back. So
the customer does not even need to separate the branches from the main stalk. You just need to cut it down like a Christmas.
zero. We even cut that out. You just sit there, and if you want to come in and maybe sesh with me, and we watch the buds fly out at the end, I'd be more than happy.
We can do that too. We can do that too, right? Let's do a sesh.
Yeah. So
That's
so for
perfect.
people don't so people want to convert a rough estimate is usually 4 to 1. So it'd be 4 pounds of wet weed would be 1 pound of dry weed. So you'd have a pound of dry weed would cost you $120.
Correct. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Dry bud.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
pound.
because you know some people get paid $15 an hour to sit there and trim, you know, by hand, and you know like where was I going to go with that? In the end, you know, that pound of cannabis that you said is going to cost you $120. It's going to take that person a lot longer to trim that cannabis.
That's for sure. That's
Yeah,
for sure. And it's
it's
going to
gonna
cost you a lot more than $120 in beer and pizza.
Oh,
That's-
and you're not going to trim that. You're not going to trim that popcorn. You're not going to get that
That's right.
that small. And plus, your shake
Yeah.
is ready to be dried. Your shake's
Yeah.
ready. It's separated in 4 different ones. So you got 4 different grades of shake.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, on top of all
Increase your yield. Yeah. Increase your yields and everything else. I mean, what a fantastic, fantastic service. And you roll up all stealth. Nobody knows. So if you don't want your neighbors to know, as we said, then they don't. So that's a huge benefit, and you supply your own power. I mean, what's not to love about Dr. Buck?
Easy peasy.
Easy
Look
peasy.
down. You grow, we mow it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You grow
I
it,
love
you.
that slogan. I love
That's
that
good.
slogan. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's
exa-
amazing. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? You mentioned coming in for a sesh, and something popped into my head there when you said that. I do something on social media called the 710 Deli Sesh. We're coming up on harvest season. If you are ever out there at 7 p.m. our time and you want to show everybody what you're doing while you're doing it, shoot me a message. I'll bring you on the sesh and we'll throw you into StreamYard and we can broadcast you doing a trimming session.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure. Shoot me a message, man. We'll have Dr. Buck on the 710 Deli Sesh doing a trim.
Perfect. I'm in. That sounds like fun.
Awesome. Fantastic. Looking forward to it. And we're going to have you back in because I know other stuff is coming out in the future, and you'll be back real soon to talk about that. New and improvements. New stuff.
I can't wait.
New frontiers.
Yeah.
New frontier.
That's right. You get that stuff all hooked up. I'll get over there with the phone, and we'll do a broadcast, and everybody can be able to see everything, all your equipment up and running.
What I'll do is I'm gonna bring you over, and we're gonna. I got one of the twisters are dirty, and I kept it dirty because I want to see what this ultrasonic cleaner can do.
Yeah.
All right. So what we'll do, I'm gonna have it go in the next 2 days. Is we'll come over and we'll do the ultrasonic cleaner live, before and after.
Oh, nice.
Right, so we'll drop that bad boy in,
Very
and we're gonna
Yeah.
see what it's got to do, right?
Yeah,
We're
look
gonna
how it
show
works.
everybody live.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That
See,
would be
seeing
very
is
cool.
yeah, seeing is believing. When you watch it being done live, it's just fucking. It's that much. It's much better.
Blows your mind. I mean, yeah, well, we have sort of have a visual on it from our discussion, but as you say, when you see it, it's like, oh, okay, wow, oh wow.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly.
Oh,
Now,
absolutely.
here's an idea. Here's an idea I had. And I want you guys to see your input on it. And I think it'd be pretty awesome. So if I would go around to different events and stuff like that, you bring your bong, and Dr. Buck will clean your bong on the scene for $5. So I would drop your bong in the ultrasonic cleaner.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I'll drop your bong in the ultrasonic cleaner. Take that out, then I'll drop it into the wash at the 100 degrees disinfectant and bring it out. Would you pay $5 to clean your bong?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
I would.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I would pay $5 all day long to clean my bong. You know what it takes for me to clean my bong in my kitchen sink?
Now,
yeah,
what-
absolutely. I'd give you $5 for that.
What about bongs that got a lot of twists and turns? With this type of cleaner thing, would it clean those bongs out and all those little nooks and crannies and curves and twists?
Oh, for sure. So an ultrasonic cleaner, I did a lot of research on this, and where I got the idea was because the cleaning was my biggest expense, right? Because I'm paying women to do it, you're trying to water. So that was my biggest downtime. So, and disinfect it, right? So
Right.
that was when I started doing all this research, and all of a sudden I seen this cleaner, which I heard about it on Twister, was kind of releasing it for a year or so and all that. So then all of a sudden it came out, I'm thinking I was going to make one, right? And I didn't have $50,000, so I said I was going to make one. So then all of a sudden I see this one come up, and I shipped from Calgary, and I talked to the guy. So the research, so when it does, it's called an implosion, not an explosion. So the bubble in the ultrasonic comes through it and blows it, so it actually blows the stuff off. It is the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, so you can
Right.
actually see it cleaning.
Oh
That
yeah,
would be
when
very
we'll look
cool.
in.
Yeah.
We'll look in and we'll video it.
Yeah,
and
for
implosion.
sure.
So these little the electronic, then it has for the hertz to turn it all up, right?
Right.
Then it's heated, so the
You're
vat
gonna have
will
to
heat
take
that
a
up
dirty
too.
bong
Like,
with you when you go.
Yeah.
Take a
For
dirty
sure.
bong with you when you go, Al.
Yeah, for sure. And get it all cleaned up. I'm sitting here looking at one right now.
Take it with you.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll get her all cleaned up.
Yeah,
Sounds like a plan.
Then I was thinking
You're
maybe
taking that.
Then I could come to different events or go to BMA
Yeah.
on a Saturday,
Well,
stuff like
you-
that.
you know,
Bring your bong in.
you've got your trailer. Like, if you go to an event, you can bring your trailer, so you can promote your trimming business. You can promote your, not only it's bong cleaning, yeah, but you can clean other things as well. I would imagine.
Oh, I can clean anything
Garden-
from jewelry to
garden-related?
watches to
Oh, okay, there you go.
can do your
Yeah,
pipes.
yeah,
It's unbelievable what they're used for. People can even carburetors, jewelry, you name it. You Google what an ultrasonic cleaner can clean. It's unbelievable.
carburetor.
Amazing.
Wow.
Car
People-
parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say people still
Car
have
parts, that's the
carburetors.
biggest thing. Yeah. So when you
Yeah.
get your rings cleaned and all that, they say an ultrasonic cleaner, that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Very
Nice.
cool. Very
Nice.
cool. Everybody
Nice.
walking around events with shiny clean bongs and shiny clean jewelry. Everybody sparkling everywhere.
That's right. Putting the shine on the place.
Put the shine on the place. Put the shine on the place.
That's right.
Well, we're going to have you back and update us on all of this and so much more. And I'll come down and videotape everything and give our listenership a visual of all this wonderful goodies that you've got going on.
Yeah, I just come down. We'll show you some of my feed line there and some of my results.
Yes, for sure. That's for sure. An upcoming tour of
Amazing.
Dr. Buck's show is coming soon.
Big
The
soon.
next year, what we'll do is when I do my Dr. Buck's weed and feed, we'll give a whole bunch, and then once a week or something, we can do a donation or a draw or something and give some clients some of that, a bloom and a veg, and
for sure.
For
Sounds
sure,
good
that sounds
to me.
good. Yeah, exactly. Give away
And
some
to our listeners as well.
Yeah, some garden feed for sure. Who doesn't want food for their plants? And organic at that.
Absolutely.
I've been using the same holes for 15 years. And people say, "Well, how much soil are you replacing your soil?" And I take people and I show them, like Rosh from BMA. He can come out too like that. I said, "I'll prove it to you." They said, "What?" And I've had Linda and I've had other people out. And they said, "Well, what do you do with the soil?" I said, "The same soil for 15 years." So the money you save is unbelievable. That you just feed the soil feeds the plant, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, you're doing it right. That's how it should work.
Yeah. I personally know guerrilla grows for me that require digging of holes. Because you get some good soil and you feed it properly, you should be good to go.
You're golden. Yep.
Yeah.
And you're golden.
Yeah.
And you're golden.
You'll
I
see.
see we're at the bottom.
Yeah. Some people just have shitty land, right? So they got to do something to it.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm all clay, so we had to dig holes. We had to.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was here last time, but we used the same holes in the same soil, I should say, for many years while we were here. And you've just got to keep your soil healthy that you've added in there.
Yeah.
You can't deplete it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. As you said, it's bottom of the hour. Let's get into shout out time.
Yes.
Yes,
shout out.
Scott, shout out, person, place, a thing, a website, where everybody can find you, so on and so forth.
Hey, you grow what we mow, Dr. Buck CTS. Follow us on my website. We're on Instagram, Facebook. If you want to give me a call, you want me to Zoom. Like I said, I don't mind giving out advice. Lots of people call me and ask me questions about their plants, and I try to help them as best I can. So that's a great thing about me. I'm a master grower, trimmer. I fix all my own equipment, so I'm fully rounded. So I got everything covered, and I'm still learning.
We never stop learning, do we, man?
We all are. We all are.
We all are. Exactly. All right, super. Kim, you got a shout out?
I really don't. I'm going to give it to the Karma Cup. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. 1 week from tomorrow, I am heading to Toronto for my Karma Cup weekend. Yes, the event is canceled. Yes, I'm still going and celebrating Karma. There's lots going on in the city of Toronto, in the cannabis community, and tons of stuff on tap for that weekend. So if you're out and about or you plan on coming in, hey, look me up and let's get together.
Yeah, you're on the road tour to the TO. Alrighty. Let's see. Should everybody know that you and Craig are back next week. I'm off next Wednesday. And Craig McEachran of Music of Mary Jane and the Reef Reporters, he's going to fill in for me.
Yep.
And
it's going to be fun. It'll be fun working with Craig on this show. It's a brand new platform for the two of us to work together.
Yeah, and I guess it's somebody that Scott might be interested in going for a road tour yourself, Scott. Next week's guest is Nikki Inch. She's the organizer behind Hempalooza. 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 There you go, Hempalooza. Sorry, Nikki. That's going to happen down in the Niagara area this fall.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So you have to tune in next week.
I will.
Listen to that. All right. Thank yous to our sponsors, friendly and helpful folks at legacy420.com, bmahydroponics.com, Campbellford Lifestyle Shop in downtown Campbellford, as well as, of course, Dr. Buck, cts.com, Dr. Buck's Cannabis Trimming Solutions. And thank you to you, Scott, for coming on the show tonight. and talking trimming, everything that you're doing and how the business is growing and how the future looks.
Hey, great. Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. And to Kim, as always, thank you. And
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and to the listeners, thank you for tuning in the program. And good night.
Good night.
I blame it on industry.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Do you want to hear what patients and cannabis advocates have to say? If so, then catch the Pace Radio Show Wednesday nights here on paceradio.net.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.